When is too much too much? Do you think is less more in most of cases, or where do you feel that lies right now, especially at your
Yeah,
level, I guess, at the BCHL?
yeah. I guess I'll tell a story a bit of my first experience in junior, like when I became an assistant coach with Brandon, and I remember it was maybe an hour after one of our first games, and I'm sitting in the office, and a phone rings, and it's a parent, and he's talking Brandon's ear off, basically, of ice time, of my where my opportunity for my kid is, and so on and so on. And I remember he hung up, and he goes, well, that's the first one of the year, and there's probably gonna be a couple more. And I remember sitting there going like, wait, you tell me parents actually do this? Like I was so green to it, I had no idea. And he goes, all the time. So I remember driving home from the rink that night. I phoned my dad up. I said, like, like, did you not call for me? Like, what's going on? Like, I remember going like, well, you could do that, like, and Tyler and I talk about this all the time, and going like, our parents, you didn't do it back then. And times have changed so much where you start building those relationships more and more. And personally, for me, it's less is more. I think, like these kids, when they get to be, they're young adults, they should be able to come and sit with their staff. And you kind of mentioned with Nathan, like, we feel our players should be comfortable to be able to sit and say, hey coach, why am I not playing on the power play? Or what do I need to do to get there? And having those discussions and being able to come and knock on the door and not be just pushing these kids saying, nope, you're just not being good enough. Right. And, I can relate that back to when I played a lot of times. It's like, I look back when I trained in the off season, I went, okay, I was nowhere near doing what I need to do every summer in order to be a high athlete and a high performance player and move on to the next level. And, telling kids nowadays, it's like just going for a run isn't good enough. Like, you go spend 30 minutes in a normal gym, it's not good enough. Like there's kids down the road. We live in Salmon Arm, 45 minutes down the road in Vernon. There's a kid training for an hour and a half with a personal trainer, and then going and doing another workout, and then going and spending an hour on the ice. So to me, it's to kind of get back to the parent side of things. There's questions to be asked for sure, and I think there's those kind of just not knowing pieces, and happy to answer those ones when it comes to the ice times, the opportunity. What are you going to do for my kid? I think it's there's such a fine line of when it's crossing too much, and so I would definitely say less is more. But I'm never going to be the one to say, hey, don't call again here, kind of thing. Like, we need to kind of nip this in the bud, kind of thing. It's really just trying to engage and just trying to tell parents, hey, let things unravel and see, like, if you're a Salmon Arm Silverback, we're always going to have your kid's interest at heart here. If there's ever a trade, it's not just because we're making a transaction. It's because there's a more opportunity for your kid to go play for another organization that has that spot to fill. Or, if it's a defenseman for a forward, it's going, okay, we needed a defenseman, they needed a forward. He's going to go and get more opportunity, kind of thing.